Hello, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Writing for Love and Maybe Money. Today is Friday, February the 16th, and and we're really excited. It's a beautiful day outside down here in South Georgia, about as south as you can get. And I do want to talk a little bit more today about plot. I am structuring the podcast on the YouTube channel so that I'm doing a podcast on Friday and Monday mornings. That way you'll be able to know that the information is going up so that you can check in. What I've been talking about is I've been talking about literary elements in your writing. You see, there are literary devices, elements that we must have in our writing. If you're writing a novel, you can't just say, oh, I write poetry and I'm just a great poet because I've had all these people uh, hired maybe to publish my poetry, or I publish my poetry with so and so and so and so, and everybody just loves it. So I think I'm going to write a novel. Writing poetry is one thing, writing a novel is, or a book for any age group is something quite else. And in a book or novel, a story that becomes a bestseller or that people begin to love and just memorable characters that you can't forget, in a novel, you have to have certain literary devices in the story to make the story a great story. This is not going to turn out to be a great story unless you know what you're doing. Just because you know a few pretty words, that doesn't get it. You have to know a whole lot about writing, and you can know. I always say, look, dream big and dream bigger and dream bigger and work at it and study and learn and research until you've got all this down and you know exactly what you're doing, and then you write your story. So there are literary devices that go in these stories that we must have in our stories in order to have a really great book. And I'm excited to be able to talk to you about those literary devices and those literary tools that we use in our books. Um, I actually live in a little house in the woods, and I have a lot of cats. So if a cat jumps up here, don't anybody panic. We'll just say hello to them and go on. So if I was writing a book about myself, I'm certainly going to have to mention all my cats that I've rescued and that live here and are in and out. So one thing I want to tell you is that we talked about character, and we talked about how to develop characters so that they are memorable characters and wonderful characters and characters that you will never forget. I can tell you that I can think about characters in books right now that are in my pure heart because I love them so much. And I've had people tell me that my book that was set on the Georgia coast, Another Island, Another Moon, and I'll share all that with you in another podcast. But I've had people tell me that that character, Big Daddy, really meant a lot to them, that he is next to their heart, and they just want me to write another book about Big Daddy, and I probably am going to, because we all love that character. Literally, we love that character. So, and hello to all of you that did read Another Island, Another Moon and made it a bestseller on Amazon, and I appreciate that so much. So we talked about character, and we've got it established how we create these great characters. How do we come up with these great characters, and how do we give them their personality? How do we know how tall they are? How do we know what they like and what they don't like? And so we've talked about this at great length, and we're going to talk about it a lot more. I had moved on to the element of plot, and we were talking about plot. and we're going to talk a good bit more about plot. And one of the things about plot that one lady that was an aspiring writer told me that she just totally did not understand is how you develop a plot. How do you come up with what goes in a plot? And I told her this: the first thing that you must know, and you're writing all this down in your composition book, and I just know that you are, because we're going to plan this stuff. Without plan, you're just writing haphazardly and disjointed, and the writing will come out to be disjointed. There won't be any way in the world that your writing is going to have a theme and be focused unless you know what you're doing. And the only way to know what you're doing is that we're going to outline a good bit. Now, the first thing I want you to know, if you're writing a story or a novel, and certainly if you're just writing the all-American great novel, I want you to know your age group that you're writing for, because you will have a character here in a book for little kids. The character's name, let's say, is going to be Maddie Mae. Okay, Maddie Mae doesn't want to go to school today, so she has a little bit of a dilemma. One character, Maddie Mae, and this is a book for 4-year-olds, maybe through 6-year-olds. And it's all about she didn't want to go to pre-K or she didn't want to go to first grade. Now, as the reading level begins to expand and grow, you're able to work more characters in there. You must learn, you must research and see about how many characters can go in that book for middle schoolers, about how many characters you might want to have in a book for high school students. Well, what about an adult novel? How many characters can I have? Well, you can have multiple characters. Maybe you have 2 spy agents chasing 15 crooks or something like that. So the number of characters that you have and the plot is going to depend a lot on how many characters you have. Now, I also want you to know, and this is so valuable, it is so vital that you know this. You must know about how many pages you want this novel to be. You must know that some of the bigger publishers in New York, they want a novel that's going to be 65,000 to maybe 125,000 words. So you're going to have to know a lot about word count. And you're going to go ahead and have to plan to come out with, or for your result, once you're through and can say the end of this story, you want to know about how many pages you're going to come out with. If I'm writing a little kid's book, a book for toddlers or beginner readers or whatever in pre-K 4, 5, 6 years old or something like that. When I type this book into my Word program on Microsoft, I'm only going to come out with about 1,500 words, or 900 to 1,500 words. That's all I'm going to be allowed to work with, because once you get the illustrations in that book and a few sentences per page, you're going to have a 42-page 36, 42-page book or something like that. And that's all you can have for that age group. Now, if you're writing for middle schoolers, which I have a book on display back here, and I'm going to talk to you at great length about how I developed that book very soon. Peach When the Well Run Dry, which won me the Georgia Author of the Year Award in 2011. Wonderful book, sold by the Children's Defense Fund in Washington, D.C. Right now, today, you can get on their site and see Peach When the Well Run Dry, a story about friendship, a story about the kids looking for water. This is a book for middle grades. So I had several characters. I had 5 or 6 characters in the book, children, and an old man that's a water diviner, and you will love it. So please get that if you can. Now, So you want to go ahead and figure out before you start writing about how many words you're going to come out with. And you may have to do a little research on that. Let me tell you that if you're typing in some old-fashioned font like Times Roman or Arial or something like that, or possibly even using Georgia. See, the font styles have changed. When you're typing a manuscript now on a computer that you're going to send to an agent or send to an editor for possible consideration, you want to use a 12-point font. Now, since I'm older and I publish a lot of my own books now in my old days, I use a 14-point bold because of my eyes being operated on a number of times and because old eyes can't see like young eyes can. And I do what I want. It's my own company now. Now, the editors will want to know your word count when they get your manuscript to consider it for publication with their line of books that they're doing at this great big company, Random House or somewhere like that. So you're going to have to know your word count. You want to kind of approximate what you think you're going to come out with word count wise before you start writing your book. And everybody says, oh no, that interferes with the creativity. I will tell you that it does not interfere with the creativity whatsoever. It is simply that these things must be planned in order for you to control what this product is going to look like or format up like when you get through with it. You want to know about how many pages you're going to have, and you can say if you're typing on a 8 by 10 sheet of paper, whatever, a normal sheet of typing paper, you're going to come out with about 250 words per page, and that is if you point and a half or double space in there, and you don't single space in your writing at all. You're going to 1.5 points, or you're going to double space. They want it double space. And lots of good things can happen if you plan. And so now you're going to create scenes, and the action that you create per chapter, you're going to, how many scenes per chapter can you have? Let me tell you, it depends on the age group that you're writing for. You're allowed this scene or that scene, or how many characters, or 2 characters, or 1, or 10 come into play in scene 5, or whatever. You are allowed these numbers of characters because of the age group for which you're writing. Also, you must consider the genre. You must consider, are you writing a romance novel, a literary novel, a book for children, a board book for little bitty kids that don't even require any text, only illustrations maybe? So you have to format and have in your mind what your product is going to be like. Now, I've overdone my time a little bit because my cats have come in the sunroom, and I see them ripping through something. I don't know what it is. You know how cats are. And I love my cats. And I'll have some of my cats in some of my videos. And I must write a book about cats. That's true. But my next book might be about a lizard. So stay tuned, and I'm going to continue my talk about plot. I don't know if this sign right here translates right. Do you see that? And does it say subscribe to my YouTube channel? Please subscribe. Does that say that right? And if it doesn't, it's backwards, then I don't know what I'm going to do about that. The name of the channel is Writing for Love and Maybe Money. And I hope and pray that you will subscribe and view this and use your word of mouth to pass this on. This is a great channel about writing for aspiring writers, and I hope and pray that I am helping you. This channel is free. There is no charge to you, never. If you want to donate $500,000, that's fine. Send it. But the truth is, everything's free. It doesn't require anything except a little bit of your time. I will be back again with you guys on Monday morning. This is your weekend video. Thank you for joining me today.